Woman, Jesus replied, believe me, a time is coming when you will worship the Father neither on this mountain, nor in Jerusalem. You Samaritans worship what you do not know. We worship what we do know, for salvation is from the Jews. Yet a time is coming, and has now come, when the true worshippers will worship the Father in the Spirit and in truth, for they are the kind of worshippers the Father seeks. God is Spirit, and his worshippers must worship him in spirit and in truth. Greeting, guys. It is me here with a message of the kingdom of heaven. Guys, this part, this one was taken from the Gospel of John 4. Jesus was tired, he had been walking, a long distance with his disciples. So he became very tired. So he sat down while his disciples went and bought food. So while he was sitting down, a Samaritan woman came, was trying to get water from the well. So Jesus turns to her and says, woman, give me water. And the lady is like, say, we, the Samaritans and the Jews, we don't mix. I ain't doing that, And Jesus says, if you knew who is talking with you, and what kind of water I'm going to give you. The lady is like, whoa, you don't even have a bucket. Where do you think you're going to get the waters? You don't even have a bucket. Guys, if you read this part, it's very, very funny. Jesus with this lady. But this lady, after that, she became an evangelist. I'm telling you. Her and Jesus were having this small quarreling, And I laugh about it, But what I want to speak about, guys, here, before we even get to this part, I was speaking to someone, regarding obeying daddy. And I was explaining the fact that, daddy is a very good man because he forgives. He's a very good man. But he doesn't forgive when you're doing it on purpose. It doesn't forgive when you're doing it on purpose, So I tend to stress that out because people are behaving as if, oh, well, you can keep disobeying him, he's going to forgive. In other words, there is no need for you to obey him. Because, see, guys, obeying daddy, obeying his laws takes away from my flesh because it's difficult, it's painful. Disciplining yourself is painful while everyone, guys, is loving money and coming back with A, B, C, and D and called a success story. You are not supposed to love money. So it's difficult for you because you are disciplining a flesh that loves money. They love money and calling it success because they couldn't fight their flesh. Yet now you have to fight it, meaning it's difficult, it's painful. You understand? And you find that people are becoming blessed stories. They're loving the things of the world and calling them blessings. Yet we are told not to love the world or the things of the world. They don't come from the Father, but from the world, meaning from the kingdom of darkness, from Satan. So when you have to obey that command, it's difficult for you because you have to fight against your flesh while everyone else is running after these things. So they are called the blessed story, the success story. You understand what I'm trying to say? Our flesh, guys, love sex outside marriage. So the moment we hit 13, our hormones, they change. I tend to speak a lot about that, So people are running after sex, sleeping with one another, left, right, and center, and on Sundays going to church. And they were like, oh, God is going to forgive me, So it's difficult when you will have to stop this, feel the pain, while others are not stopping it. They'll tell, oh, he's going to forgive me. Now the question is, if he's going to forgive you, why do I have to feel the pain? Ask yourself this, if he's going to forgive you by doing that knowingly, why will I put myself in this position of feeling the pain? No, guys, let us be frank now. Let's cut the crap. It's time to cut the crap. You know what I mean? Because these are the problems we are dealing with. You find it that we are running after our careers. We're doing our own will. We're calling ourselves Christians. Jesus says you need to give up your life in order to enter the kingdom of heaven. So I give up my life. It's difficult when no one is going to come to me and say, wow, God has done this for you. You understand? In other words, I need to feel the pain while you are not feeling it. And you think that when we live here, we're going to the same place. I mean, guys, if that is fair, there's something wrong with the laws of the men upstairs. If that is fair, if Peter, Paul, James, and John were persecuted, were flogged, you understand, were killed because they stood by Jesus' word, and you go about preaching your own nonsense, opening cults in the name of churches and preaching your own beliefs, and you claim that you're going to the same place, then there's something wrong. Guys, let's cut the crap. It's time to cut the crap. You understand? Now, what I'm saying is that I was speaking to this person because, you often hear people say, he's going to forgive, he's going to forgive, he's going to forgive you. I feel the pain. Well, you are continuing with whatever you are doing and he's going to forgive you. If he's going to forgive you, then I don't have to obey him. I don't have to obey him now. Because he's going to forgive you, he should forgive me too. Guys, this is a problem I was having when I was going to church. Jesus keeps telling me, don't do this, you won't enter my kingdom. And in my mind, it didn't make sense. I was under pastors. I was in the midst of people who were claiming to be Christians. Busy having sex outside marriage, squandering together with, living together, boys and girls, having sex outside marriage, loving money, loving the things of the world. You understand? Doing their own will. Yet I'm here being told that if I don't do his will, I won't make it to his kingdom. To me, that was harassment. To me, that was abuse. It's only now I've come to understand. It took me years, guys, to try to understand why Jesus was busy like that, reprimanding me. Don't do this. You won't enter my kingdom. Even worse, it's a kingdom I know of. You understand? So it would have been foolish of me to disobey Jesus. Now, guys, I'm trying to say is that people would come to us, he's going to forgive. So they don't obey him because they think he's going to forgive. And I tell people that he's a very good man. He forgives. But once you know the truth and you continue in sin, he doesn't forgive. Why? Because when you do that, you are telling him that you don't want to obey him. You are telling him that you don't care about him. You are telling him that he's not important. What is important is you and what you want. You understand? So he doesn't take that. You see, guys, with Daddy, he doesn't care. You can be stupid all, you care. Guys, I'm stupid, I'm naive, I'm like Peter, in fact. But Jesus didn't have a problem with Peter. If you study the Gospels very well, didn't have a problem with Peter. And Jesus doesn't have a problem with me. You understand? Yet I'm naive and stupid like that. The only thing Daddy wants, guys, is obedient. That's one thing I've learned about him. You can be anyhow with him, as long as you obey him. That's the only thing he cares about. And if you read Jesus' teachings, you'll find that the only thing he wants is obedience. And that is what I've come to understand. You understand? So I was speaking to this person saying, no, if you don't know the truth, he will keep forgiving you. But once you know and you're doing it on purpose, so it doesn't. So while we were sitting down and explaining, so I was saying that if you continue in sin, even after you do get saved, if you continue in sin after knowing the truth, according to the word, you can't make it to his kingdom, so you go to hell. So this person had lost a very close member of a family. So she was saying to me, hey, then there's no need for me to go to heaven then. And I was like, why are you saying that? So she was like, my mom was going to church, but my mom was doing A, B, C, and D. That is not in line with the word. Guys, when you think about that, guys, what that person was saying made so much sense. Guys, it made so much sense. Nowadays, when you listen to music, I usually listen to gospel music, even though it's old school gospel, but it's gospel music. So you listen to their lyrics. They say, I'm going to heaven, I'm going to my mom, I'm going to my father, I'm going to see my loved ones, and you sit and you're like, wow, this thing makes sense. I never really thought about it before as much as I do now. Because if you are going to heaven, you want to go to people that you love. You want to go to people that you know. If they're not there, what's the point of going there? Guys, hello, what's the point of going there? That's why you find these people saying, my ancestors are in heaven. People are so emotional that their brains aren't working. People are not using their brains, but using emotions. Oh, my so-and-so is in heaven, but so-and-so was not obeying his commands. How can so-and-so be in heaven when so-and-so is not obeying his commands? Oh, well, then there's no need for me to go to heaven. And you sit and you're like, while it sounds funny, it's not really funny. It makes so much sense. Why go to someone you don't know? Why go and spend your forever with someone you don't know when you can go to hell and feel that pain of fire burning in you forever with someone you know, someone you love, your mother? You know what I mean? So guys, it's things like that. So while I was listening to my Lord speaking to this lady, Esther Wells, saying, no, the Father is now looking for those who would worship him in spirit and in truth. And Daddy, guys, is bringing Jesus because, as I said, in Adam's loins, they were both wolves and sheep. You understand? So when Adam died spiritually, he killed both wolves and sheep. So even though you'll find that Moses, Caleb, Joshua, David, Solomon were sheep, there were a lot of wolves in Israel, just like Paul explains. So it's the same thing among the Gentiles. There are a lot of wolves, but they are his sheep. So what Daddy wants is bringing Jesus to give us the blood. And Jesus is now reproducing. Daddy is now dealing with his kids. Daddy is now, having this relationship with his kids. Guys, I remember because I was speaking about the fact that I started dealing with Daddy at the age of 14. I didn't know things, I was having these divine occurrences. So I was speaking to my mom, A, B, C, and D is happening and all and stuff and what. And my mom was like, hey, the things you are telling me are written in the book of Revelations. I don't understand, So I was dealing with divine beings I didn't understand. You understand? So my mom was explaining things. So after that, guys, I started having so much, so much love, between me and Daddy. The love became so strong. I remember because I didn't have information. I just knew about them and knew my Lord, So after that, I lived like a normal teenager, At 25, though, my Lord said, come back now. You need to come back, So I came back, And when I came back, the first thing I told Daddy, I said, Daddy, I want back the relationship I had with you. And guys, it became better. And after some time, because the relationship has always been strong, he tells me, you know what? You are actually my daughter. To you, I'm actually a father, and I didn't understand all of these things until I had to go and delve in the word and find out, guys, about wolves and sheep, So the relationship has always been there. It has always been strong, and it's become stronger and stronger and stronger. After that, there were more divine occurrences, but happening differently. I can't speak about those things right now, So I know things that I don't tell people, you understand? So the relationship, guys, is so strong that to me, it's like I want to go to heaven when I live here, but I want to go to my Daddy. I want to go to my Lord. You understand? Why? The relationship is so strong. When Daddy tells me, I love you, my daughter. You are very important to me. I want you to come to the kingdom, so obey my commands. You understand? It's because of the relationship that, we both share. You understand? The love, we all have for each other. So for me, I want to go to heaven because I want to live with my Daddy. I want to live with my Lord because I know who I'm dealing with. You understand? Guys, one day I'll speak about things. Right now, this show is not about me. It's about the word. You understand? So I tend to spill certain things a bit by bit, but not all. You understand? Guys, Jesus was dealing with the disciples. Before Jesus came, the disciples knew about Daddy. So when Jesus came, they had to start a relationship. Hence, guys, when he was about to go, you will hear them say, I'm willing to die with you. I'm willing to die for you. Why? The love, so they want to go there, not to their ancestors, but to go there in heaven to be with Jesus. You understand? Why? Because of the relationship that they have. I don't know, guys, if you understand. And when I was listening to this person saying to me, there's no need for me to go to heaven, then I'm not going to obey him because my so-and-so is not in heaven. If you look at his commands, even though my mom was going to church, she wasn't obeying the commands. So obviously she can't be there. And I started saying to the person, what if your mom didn't know the truth? Because pastors are busy preaching their own things. Guys, let me stop here and continue in the next.